Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a flip through of my 2024 reading journal setup. I've decided that I'm going to be a reading journal girly this year, and honestly I'm a little scared because I've never been able to keep up with it before, but this year I'm really determined to be able to keep up with this and just enjoy seeing my year in reading journal format. I think that we're going to be doing some craft nights over on Patreon, so if you guys are interested in that, the link is down in the description box, but I really think that that will help me once a month to just kind of sit down, fill everything out from the month before, set up the next month, and hopefully that will help keep me accountable. But I wanted to show you guys really quickly what my kind of supplies are going to be for this year, and then we'll get into the flip through. So first I have just a run-of-the-mill ruler. This is one from a planner that I had a few years ago, so it's nothing special, but it gets the job done for sure, and I kind of like that it's flimsy and I can move it around pretty easily. Then I have the just normal micron pens. I did get the 3-pack that had the 0.3, the 0.5, and the 0.1 in it. I mostly use the 0.1 for writing, and then I'm using the 0.3 currently for most of my outlining. Occasionally if I want a bolder line, I'll use the 0.5, but these are definitely the two that I use the most. And then we obviously have a handy dandy eraser. You need a pencil. I got a big eraser because, well, you can see what the eraser looks like on this pencil. And then I have my Tombow markers, so I just use the Tombow Dual Brush Point. And these are really good because they don't have a lot of bleed through, but they're still really, really vibrant. And I find that I've got all of the colors that I need. I did go with a palette, kind of more of a muted but still colorful palette. Most of these colors came from the Cottagecore collection, I think that they had, but I did get some extras added in there as well. Obviously it didn't have like a good brown for shelves or anything like that. Okay, so let me shift all of this out of the way and let's look at the journal itself. So this is just a Michaels Artist black dot journal. This is really the only one that they had in stock, so that's part of the reason I went with this color. It's 192 pages. I don't think I'm gonna need that many pages, but again, this is what they had in stock. I actually got all these supplies like right around Christmas time, right after Christmas. Everything was completely out of stock, but I'm really, really happy with this. I don't have any complaints about it. I know a lot of people use the Archer and Olive dot journals, but honestly, this paper quality is really good, and I've had no issues with it so far. Okay, so when we open it up, it has this like index page, and I don't really know what I'm gonna do with these index pages yet. I do Patreon stickers every other month, and then every other month is a bookmark, so I may just paste all of the stickers that I've designed from the year in this, because I think that it would be really fun to be able to see everything throughout the year that I have created, but I don't think that I need it for like an index page. Okay, so pretend on this page you are seeing this gorgeous title page that's really, really pretty. It says 2024 Reading Journal on it, because I don't know what I want to do with this yet, and I didn't want to delay this video any longer, so I did not fill this page out yet. If you have any ideas for what I could do for this title page, let me know down in the comments, because I'm still not really sure what I want to do with it yet. And then down here at the bottom, we have my color code of my star ratings. Anytime I have like the genre tracker or my 24 and 2024, anytime I complete a book, I'm going to go off the star rating for color. So this is kind of my key code on what colors are what. Then you have my rating system. We have 5 stars, which is screaming, crying, and throwing up. We have 4 star, which is love, love, love. We have 3 stars, good, but mostly okay. 2 stars, don't waste your time. And 1 star is light her up. Then we move on to my 24 and 2024 spread. I'm really, really happy with the way this came out. I think it's super cute, and I just love this night scene and the plant at the top. I did get this idea inspiration from Katie is Reading, so I will leave her video down in the description box for you guys. But this obviously has the 24 books that I wanted to read in 2024. These match up with the video that I did a few weeks ago, and I can't wait to color all of these in and see what this spread looks like when I am finished. Next up, we have my series tracker. So obviously I have like 100 and something series, so I would not be able to put all of my series on this spread. It would take like 5 or 6 pages plus some. So these are just my priority series for 2024. And then as I finish them, I will be coloring in with the corresponding series color. I may end up having to do a additional page like washi taped in here, because I know that I'm gonna start and continue some series that I wanna add, but for now, I think I've got plenty of space to add in a couple more. Next up, we have my 5-star spread. This one's pretty basic because it is going to be, I'm hoping, pretty colorful when I put all of the book covers in here. So every time I read a 5-star, I'm going to print out the book cover and paste it in here. I have a lot of spaces for these because I am determined for this to be my 5-star year. So I'm hoping that I will be able to fill up this entire spread, and who knows, maybe even need another page. Then we have a book bracket. I've seen this in a couple of spreads and I really love the idea and the way that it looked. Theoretically, I would be able to fill this in with my favorite book of each month with coming up to my favorite book of the year. I will say that I liked the way I think Cassidy maybe did this a little bit better, because if I read a great book in January and a great book in February, but a terrible book in March and a not so great favorite in April, then one of these favorite books is going to get tossed out regardless. So this may not end up being my like favorite book of the year, but I had already mostly done this spread by the time I really thought that one through. But I'm still excited to have it. I think it'll be a great visualization. Then we have my genre tracker. So I mostly read fantasy, indie fantasy, romantasy, and horror. And the thought behind this is that every time I read something in that genre, I will color in a block for the corresponding star rating. So I have 2 sections for fantasy, 2 for indie fantasy, because I think that I'm going to read like more than 34 books in each genre, which I think is how many rows that I have in this. And I'm excited to see what all of this looks like when it's finished. Then we have my books by type. So I have audio, ebook, physical, mixture, and the total books that I read that month, along with my total books and total pages of the year. This I think will just be really nice to see what formats I read everything in, because I do want to try to read more physical and ebooks this year. I love audiobooks. I don't have a problem with the fact that I read a lot of audiobooks, but I do want to try to prioritize reading in the evenings, and I tend to not listen to audiobooks when I'm at home. So I'm hoping that that means that I'm able to get more physical and ebooks read. Next up, we have my bookish goals. So obviously this is just one of those big spreads where you color in every book that you've read this year. I have corresponding colors up here to what months everything goes with. So I think this will look really cool when I've got it filled out. Basically, if I read, 10 books in January, they'll all be this green color, then I'll move on. This one's not by star rating. Then we have my goals over here. My subscriber count, I'm gonna track it this way, I think, for this year. I may end up changing this a little bit next year just to get a better visualization. I should mention that I will still be keeping a spreadsheet for everything. So this is just to see everything in a little bit better way, like a little bit more of a artistic, creative way, because my spreadsheet is still going to be tracking a lot of things. Not everything that's in here, so that's why we have a couple of extra spreads, but I still will be using a spreadsheet. So anyway, back to subscriber count. Right now I'm at about 4,500. I'm hoping to get to 7K by the end of the year. Then we have the number of books that I want to read. I'm hoping to get around 150. We have special editions, so I really want to try to prioritize reading some of my special editions. I really did not do that this year, and they're starting to stack up. So every time I read a special edition, whether it's something that I've already owned or whether it's something that I buy this year, I'm going to try to read 10 of those. I want to try to annotate at least 10 books. I've loved getting into my more creative side this last year and really getting into annotating and reading journals and designing bookmarks. It's just been a lot of fun, and so I'm hoping to be able to annotate at least 10 books, really find my style, and just enjoy the reading experience rather than trying to get a bunch of books read and feeling like I don't have time to annotate. I really want to slow down and enjoy my reads. And then I also want to read at least 80 indie books this year. Then we have my Our Fantasy Bingo page, which I'm so excited to fill this out. I probably won't fill this out until April. So Our Fantasy Bingo goes from April to April 1st. This is the 2023 to 2024 bingo board. Once I've looked to see what books I'm going to be putting in everything, I will put the corresponding covers to the prompts over here. So these are just the bingo spaces. This one's blank because you are allowed to replace one prompt with a previous year's prompt. And this is like their book club prompt, and I just don't really participate in their book club, so I'll probably replace that, but I don't know with what yet. So that's why that one is blank. Then we have my special editions spread. I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. I think it's gonna look really good, and I'm gonna love being able to see what I have read throughout the year. This is just gonna be with the special editions in the month that I bought it, unless it's a subscription box, and then it will be in the month that the subscription box came through. And we have all of the boxes or places that I get special editions from currently up here. We have Broken Binding, Fable, Illumicrate, Arcane, Evernight, and the Bookish box. Obviously, I have a little bit more room up there in the corner if there were to be another box or subscription service that I decide to pick up in 2024, but those are the primary ones that I have on my radar right now. I think this is gonna look great, and I'm so excited to see this. This is something that my spreadsheet doesn't track, so I'm excited to have this in my reading journal. And then last but not least, we have my current January spread. I am so happy with the way this turned out. I think it's so cute. Obviously, I went with colors that kind of go with this warm and cozy vibe. I probably will change up the colors a little bit in these monthly spreads. I don't know that they will stay just with the cottagecore vibe, but I wanted this first one to kind of just be more of a muted and warm and cozy kind of vibe. For the stickers, these are just ones that I found on Canva. I just put them on a document that was an 8x11 and printed it out on sticky paper and cut them out. I like the way that these turned out. I really think that they're cute and they fit the vibe really well. Up here we have my most favorite book of the month. I'll just put the book cover in here. My least favorite book of the month. We're going to keep up with my format on this as well. This is not something I may track every month, but I wanted to see how it worked for January. Down here we have video ideas, things that I really want to prioritize in the month of January. Up here we have my book clubs. Right now I have 4 that I'm actively participating in. We have Indie Archive, which is my Patreon book club that I run with Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy. Then we have the Backlist Book Club, which I co-host my buddy Reed for Patreon. We're going to be reading Poison Study, and then we have Red Rising Along that's on Patreon as well. I'm so excited to read all of these books. I don't know yet whether I'm going to put the cover art in here or whether I'm just going to write it in. Since they're circular, and obviously covers are not circular and these are not perfect circles, I will probably just be writing the title and the author of the books in here, but I really like being able to see this. And then I'll probably put the live show date if we have one up here as well. And then down here we have my TBR tracker. Obviously when I do TBR Bluff, I have to keep up with not only the prompt, but what the role was and then the corresponding book. And sometimes that can be kind of hard to do because I just write it on a sticky note, and then when it comes time for the next month for me to talk to you guys about what I read the month prior, I can't find it. So I'm glad to be able to write it down somewhere so that I know exactly what the prompt was, exactly what the book was, and I can update you guys on whether I finished out my TBR. Okay, so I think that this is everything for my flip through. I will be putting in readathon spreads, or if there's a lot more like book club stuff back behind these each month. Obviously, I can add to this if there's other spreads that I feel like I end up needing. Let me know down in the comments below if you are a reading journal girly and are you going to be keeping one in 2024? If you are, what is one spread that you absolutely could not live without? What is one thing that you think that I should track in the future? If you just want to let me know that you were here and hanging out, leave me some kind of cozy emoji like a warm beverage or a blanket or something like that. I don't really know what kind of cozy emojis there are, but leave me some kind of cozy emoji down in the comments below. All right, guys, so as always, links to my Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads are all in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.